I know at this point it might be a little bit hard to take Joe Biden seriously because it's really hard to decipher whether or not he's speaking sincerely or if it's just something random he's spouting off about because cognitively he's just not there. But I think the fact that this kind of stuff is coming up in press conferences is enough to lead at least me to believe that there is a small seed of tyranny growing within the Biden administration. In a press conference last week, Joe Biden was talking about the Second Amendment, and in his speech he said, if you think you need to have weapons to take on the government, you need F-15s and maybe some nuclear weapons. Now, this is a transition from what we typically hear from people who want to implement gun control, and that is, well, there's no place in our society for guns. Guns are dangerous. Guns are bad. And the transition is that Joe Biden thinks it doesn't really matter if we have guns or not. The government can simply outgun all of us. And it's really, truly amazing when you have the President of the United States basically insinuating that they can just nuke the entire population. I mean, that's got to be the greatest pro-gun campaign ad I've ever heard in my entire life. And the fact that he's saying the general public needs more than just firearms is really kind of interesting, considering the fact that him and along with a bunch of other Democrats and leftist politicians were saying that the morons on January 6th who stormed the Capitol building, that they almost overthrew the entire American democracy. So which is it? I'm kind of wondering here. But at the end of the day, Joe Biden and this push to defund the police and this push for gun control, it's probably sold more firearms than any conservative spokesperson you could ever get your hands on. And even though Joe Biden is kind of just a bumbling moron at this point, I can't help but feel threatened. Does anybody else feel threatened? I mean, go and look up the statistics for homicide and shootings in places like Portland. You can go on social media. I follow a wide variety of different political pages on social media, and all of the time, on a weekly basis, I'm seeing videos pop up in my feed of people just robbing places randomly, people running over each other. Last week, I saw a couple who were mobbed, pulled out of their car, and executed on the spot. But you have the President of the United States saying that we don't need guns. You have the left side of the political aisle saying that we don't need guns. You have leftist politicians who want to implement gun control, despite the fact that on a weekly basis there are people out there who are being flat out executed. Okay, we are dealing with some very sinister stuff. I've said this before on different videos, that we are in more danger than we realize. And it's easy just to poke fun at Joe Biden because he can't even speak correctly. He can't even formulate a well-spoken sentence. And so it's easy to just laugh it off, make fun, and just brush it off like something never happened. But this is the ideology. This is what's happening. The President of the United States is saying that he can just use F-15s or nuclear weapons against us if he wants to, and we couldn't do anything about it. While also an unbelievable amount of violence is taking place in this country. And when you continue to defund the police, people are losing their protection. People are losing their ability to defend themselves. And so it's easy just to laugh it off. You see a bumbling moron just talking out of his mind. It's easy to laugh it off, but this is the point that we're coming to, that they want to take away all of our guns, and they're also simultaneously taking away the police, which are meant to protect us.